Leo's insights are presented to challenge, inform, and encourage you in your quest to break free from school-based approaches to education. Building upon a foundation of unschooling, we sincerely hope these insights help you to consider how education can be truly unlimited.
We have now heard the story of Matthew from two perspectives, mine and Matthew's parents. Now we're going to hear from the man himself. Needless to say, Matthew has changed a lot since the day we first met him, so many years ago. Let's take a look at how Matthew sees things today. I, Matthew, and my wife Megan are blessed to have Leo and Faye in our lives. We are especially thankful for the many ways in which they have helped me through the struggles of getting an education. The love and care they have shown me goes beyond what their job required of them. They have always encouraged me to always keep on and never give up. I don't have much to add to this account of my life, as what has already been said is sufficient. I want to thank my parents for their love and unending support. Thank you to my dad for the many hours of training in the shop and for preparing me for my apprenticeship. Thank you to my mom for never giving up on me and for changing her life in order to give me the best chance at mine. I currently work as a mechanic, handyman, and fuel deliverer at Timberbound Construction, a logging company based in Lacrete, Alberta. My wife and I are happily married, and she says her list of Matthew flaws wouldn't not be long at all. I would be willing to bet that Matthew did not actually write this, but got a bit of help. This is not to say that Matthew is lacking. Indeed, we are promised that where we are weak, he, God, is strong. How does this make sense? Well, simple. God provided Matthew with many helpers to make his life easier and provide him a soulmate to help him meet his obligations in life as an adult. Megan, his helpmeet, likely helped Matthew meet this need, which would have been difficult for him to do on his own. I'm not sure about you, but I suspect the last sentence especially was composed by Megan herself in answer to my jokingly saying that she could list a few of Matthew's flaws since we were not aware of any. Can't you just feel the love? Matthew has always been able to do what was necessary to get the job done. That is how he approached his education. That is how he approached his goals. That is why his rendition of the story is short. As he succinctly said, why should we repeat what has already been said? No nonsense and no sense in wasting time. This is Matthew. I sincerely hope that you were blessed by the Matthew story. I also pray that you were able to see how man's secular solutions may actually reduce or eliminate our seeking God for his solutions. I mentioned earlier that there were 4 sides to his story. There was my perspective, the parents' perspective, and of course, Matthew's. The 4th one is best described as the truth. For that one, we will have to go to the scripture. Now, in case you did not know this, if one has to start at the beginning of the Bible and move forward one verse at a time, and simultaneously went to the last verse and moved backwards one verse at a time, you would arrive at the central verse of the Bible, which is Psalm 118, verse 8. Now, one would think that the central verse must be, well, central to the overall message of Scripture. It reads, "It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man." Matthew's family had faith. Trusting in God and what God had created turned out to be a much wiser approach to preparing Matthew for his future than putting their confidence in man and his institutions. Why should anyone be surprised that believing God produced better results than accepting man's feeble attempt to fix them? The Creator knows infinitely more than the created. Trusting him makes much more sense. Now, I want to conclude this story with a caveat and a suggestion. I am fully aware that there are children who have issues that are much worse than Matthew's. And I want to be sure that I do not discourage parents of children with severe issues. Still, no matter what, faith will carry us through any situation. I also want to be sure not to discourage people from using tools that have been developed to help children cope with their differences. Knowing that all good things come from the Lord, from whom there's no variation, shadow of change, any good thing should be employed with thankfulness. If we avoid putting man and his solutions or institutions first, God can work, even if through human agencies and tools. But if we place our confidence in man rather than trusting God, we limit him. Matthew's story is one of faith and of trusting in God. In fact, every human story involves people with special needs, and every story is one of faith. The question is, faith in what?
We trust you were blessed by today's presentation. For more helpful information to guide you in your home education journey, please visit educationunlimited.ca and leogaumont.com. Be sure to like us and share us on Facebook.